Hi, it's Keto Granny, and I'm going to talk with you for a while about what's a keto diet. I've been getting a lot of questions about how to start the keto diet, um, what foods can you eat on the keto diet, what fats do you eat and how much, what is the keto flu and how do you get over it. So these are the questions I'm going to attempt to answer for you today. If you enjoyed this video, I would like to say here, please like, share, and subscribe. If you subscribe, that way you won't miss any videos that I release. Also, by liking and sharing, it gets the word out there about the ketogenic diet, which is something that I'm very anxious to spread because it's a diet that has helped me tremendously. A lot of us think that we're over the age of 40 that we cannot lose weight, but we can. There are a few different things that we may have to tweak and do a little bit differently because of our slow metabolism. Some of us are going through menopause at an early age. So there are many different things that we may have to do to tweak our ketogenic diets, but we can lose weight. To date, I have lost a total of 115 pounds on the ketogenic diet, and I am very much healthier than I used to be. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this diet, and I'm going to share the good news about the ketogenic diet, and I want you to do the same. So like I said, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave those below so that I can answer those for you maybe in my next video. It's a way of eating that has really worked for me, and nowadays we really have to find ways to be healthier and to stay healthy because we don't get the same type of care that we used to get from our doctors. So it makes sense for us to be up on our care, to know what type of foods and things that we're eating so that we'll know kind of what to expect, how our body will react to the different things that we put into it. So to give you a little history of the keto diet, a little bit about the introduction of the keto diet. It was founded and used by Dr. Russell Morris Wilder of the Mayo Clinic in the early 1920s, and it was used to treat children who had epilepsy. They found that by giving the children certain low-calorie foods and then having them fast for a certain amount of time, they found that they had fewer seizures and that it had better effects as far as the treatment. And they used this treatment for as long as they could until they started getting medications and medicines to use to treat epilepsy that worked better, and then they stopped using the diet. They went more to using medications. The diet wasn't used for a long time, but it's also said that the diet was used as early as Hippocrates, that he used the diet for treatment of different things then also. So this diet has been around for a long time. It's also said that the diet is basically the way that our ancestors used to eat. A lot of plants and plant foods and just occasional meats because they weren't able to have meats every day. We know that they'd go out and hunt and they only had small portions because they used whatever the catch was to feed everyone except for the ones that they didn't want to give the meat to. So this way of eating has been around for a long time. It's just that we strayed away from this way of eating. We started having sugar introduced to our diets. And once sugar was introduced into the diet, then we started having processed foods and cured meats and different things. So once sugar came into the diet, that's when we started having a lot of problems. Our ancestors didn't battle the different problems that we battle today as far as the different chronic diseases, as far as high blood pressure and diabetes and high cholesterol. They didn't worry about those type of things back then. We worry about those type of things because of the way that we eat. And so this is something that we know. Now, on the ketogenic diet, you're going to have what is called your macros. And your macros is where you're counting your macronutrients. And what you basically want to follow is you want to have 70 to 75% worth of fat on the keto diet, 20% of protein, and about 5 to 10% of carbohydrates on the ketogenic diet. And that's what you will mostly be eating in these, is what's called your macronutrients. When you first start off on the keto diet, you don't have to worry so much about counting calories. Now you will later on, but first, when you're first starting, you don't worry about counting calories as much, because you just want your body to go ahead and get fat adapted, which means that you want your body to switch from burning glucose to burning ketones. And you're going to do that by lowering your carb intake. On the ketogenic diet, like I said, you're going to have 70 to 75% worth of fats on the keto diet. Your fats are going to come from many diet sources. On the keto diet, you're going to get healthy from the meats. You're going to get healthy fats from the meats that you eat, such as fish, the types of fish. The main one that a lot of them eat is salmon. So you're going to have salmon, tuna, the fatty fishes. These are the best fishes. So catfish, eat those type of fishes on the ketogenic diet. And when you're cooking your fish, use good oils, good healthy oils that are keto friendly to cook with. Also, you're going to get fats from dairy. You're going to get it from heavy whipping cream, which you're going to use a lot of, which I use a lot of on the ketogenic diet. You're going to use it for nuts. You're going to get it from nuts and seeds. On this diet, you're going to be using healthy oils, such as you're going to be using olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. You're going to be using avocado and coconut oil. You're going to be using butter and ghee. And that's just to name a few of the oils that you can also use on this diet. Avocado and eggs are an excellent source of fat also. And you want to make sure that you're eating the right kind of fat, because too much saturated fat increases your LDL, which is known as your bad cholesterol. And this causes heart disease and diabetes type 2. 20 to 25% of your diet is going to be based on proteins on the keto diet. Proteins are essential and necessary, and most of your proteins will come from your meats that you eat. You want to get grass-fed organic meats, and these are the best. Also, you want to get fattier versions of the meat, such as when you're buying ground beef. You don't want to get the very, very lean type that may be 93% lean. You want to get like 80% lean and 20% fat is what you will be looking for. That's what I eat a lot of, the 80 and the 20, but I have seen 73 and 57, and I have bought that before also. So these are the best. Also, you want to get the fattier version of meats when you're out getting your steaks and everything. You want to see the fat, like the marbleization in the steaks. An example of these, like ribeye steaks. Also, on the ketogenic diet, cold cuts. You want to avoid cold cuts. It says that they cause colorectal cancer. So you want to avoid those. Now, every now and then I will have something like the hard salami or something like that. So I think it'd be okay occasionally, but it's not something that you want to incorporate into your diet on a daily basis. Also, eggs also contains protein. And protein is very important on the ketogenic diet because it helps to build and to maintain your muscle. And this is what you want to do on the ketogenic diet. Usually for a meal, you're going to have anywhere from 3 to 6 ounces of protein per meal. And the amount that you have will be based upon how many meals per day that you're having. So be sure and make sure that you're correct percentages through the day for your body weight and body type. Now you'll be eating 5 to 10% worth of carbohydrates on the ketogenic diet. And carbohydrates are drastically reduced on the ketogenic diet. You should come, your carbohydrates should come from your vegetables. You want to get most of this from your vegetables. You don't want to eat things such as sugar, white flour, rice, pasta, breads, cakes, candies, or fruits, processed foods. This is not where you want to get your carbohydrates from. You want to get your hot carbohydrates from, like I said, mostly from your vegetables on the diet. You are not going to be so concerned with total carbs. You're going to be concerned with net carbs on the keto diet, which is your total carbs minus the fiber, and then you will have your net carbs. And on this diet, you want to keep your net carbs to 20 grams to 50 grams daily. Now, I would say starting the ketogenic diet, you should start the diet, I would say, at 10% carbohydrates in your diet daily, and that way you'll get to ketosis faster, which is something that you want your body to quickly convert over from burning glucose to burning ketones. Also, watch your carbohydrates when eating vegetables, because these can add up on the ketogenic diet, and you do want to stay within your percentages. So watch your vegetable intake or your carb intake just to make sure you do stay on the diet. On the ketogenic diet, your cells are producing energy from 4 types of fuel sources. That's glucose, protein, fats, and then ketones, which are the best source of fuel. Now, I say that your body mainly burns 2 types of fuel, which is the glucose and then the fats, which I say are the ketones, all in one. So ketones, they are a byproduct of the fat being broken down in the liver, and the bodies that it produces are called ketones. And ketones are the most efficient form of energy for your body to use. It's double that of proteins and carbohydrates. Proteins and carbohydrates, they only have they have 4 grams of energy per cell, whereby ketones contains 9 grams of energy per cell. So as you can see, the ketone is the best fuel to use because you will have more energy burning ketones. What happens when you stop eating carbohydrates? Well, when you stop eating carbohydrates, your body does go through a withdrawal period, and you start limiting your carbs. Your body is going to start burning your fat eventually, which is what you want your body to do. It's going to start producing ketones in your liver as fuel, which is much cleaner and more efficient than burning carbohydrates. It's been compared to like driving a car. They say if you're driving a car that has diesel, we're going to say that that's your carbs. If you're driving a car that has diesel, you're going to have a lot of pollution. You're going to stop. It's going to need fuel, and you're going to have oil changes and transmission checks. Whereas if you're driving an electric car, which is going to be your ketones, it's going to run smoothly. It's not going to need charging, and that's what your body does on ketones. So ketones are the byproduct of fat burning, and they're produced in the liver, and it's the best way for your body to have energy, the best fuel source for energy. What is fat adapted? Fat adapted is when starting the keto diet, I advise you to keep your carbohydrates as low as possible. If you can get them down to 0 and not give your body any carbohydrates, then you'll reach ketosis faster, and that way you won't have to worry so much about when they're saying the keto flu and different things like that. This is something that you may experience on the keto diet, but it's something I'm going to address a little bit later on in the video. So when starting the keto diet, be sure to keep your carbohydrates as low as possible, and you start to adapt and become a fat burner. Once you become a fat burner, that's when you're considered to be adapted. So how do you start? The first thing you want to do is to get rid of the carbs out of the kitchen or out of your pantry. That's if you live alone. Now, if you live with other family members, then you really can't just go in and take away all the carbs from everyone because you're dieting. What you need to do is separate your food from theirs so that you can have easy access to your foods when you get hungry. You want to have those foods readily available. And that means that you don't want to have cakes and cookies and things like rice and pasta, sugar and soda that's handily available for you. If you have family members and they're still eating that stuff, then you need to make sure that you keep your foods separately and eat those foods and don't eat the other foods. It would be a good idea. Now, if you're living by yourself, it would be a good idea to just get those foods out of the house. Give them away to someone else, to a food bank, to someone who needs food. Um, and then the best thing that you want to do is be able to prepare your foods yourself. You don't want to go out and buy a lot of foods that are ready-made that say that they're keto, because everything that says it's keto is not keto. So be prepared to be successful on the keto diet and just remove all of those foods that you're not going to be eating out of your line of sight. And that way you won't torture yourself or tempt yourself. Find yourself a keto shopping list and circle the foods on that list that you already have available. Don't go out and add a bunch of new foods to what you already have in the household, because you may not like those foods. Start the keto diet with foods that you like. That way it will be easier for you to stick to the diet and to be successful. And remember, you want to keep it super simple. Buy foods that are easy for you to make and foods that can be fixed several different ways to keep your grocery shopping list reasonable, like eggs and bacon and spinach. You can make several dishes out of these. You can fry them, and then also you can make omelets and different things like that. Keto burritos. So there are many different things and different ways that you can stay budget friendly while you're doing the keto diet. What foods can you eat on keto? There are many foods that you can eat on keto, and the foods that you do eat, this is an important part of the keto diet, is eating the right foods and eating them in the right amounts. And you can do this by tracking your micronutrients on different apps such as MyFitnessPal, which is the one that I use. There's Carb Manager. They have one called Chronometer. There's Stupid Simple Macros, Stupid Simple Keto, and that's just to name a few. They have many keto apps. So find one that's easy for you to use, and then start using that app and track the foods that you're eating. And in that way, you'll know if you're hitting your 75% macros for your fat, your 20% macros for your protein, and your 5% macros for your carbohydrates. And that way you will be burning, your body will be operating the way that it should on the ketogenic diet. There are many apps to choose from, like I said. So your body has two mains of fuel, like I said again, that it uses for energy, and it normally burns carbohydrates and glucose first as its main primary source of fuel. So when starting this diet, you want your body to enter a state called ketosis, and you're going to achieve ketosis by starving your body of the carbohydrates and of the sugar and the glucose. So you will need to eat very low carb to reach the state of ketosis. Some of the foods that you can eat on the keto diet that are high in protein, it's going to be like fatty cuts of meat, which is mainly your beef. You can eat as much beef as you like on the ketogenic diet. For those of you who like pork, you can have pork. You don't necessarily have to have pork on the ketogenic diet. You can have different organ meats from different animals. You're going to have eggs. You can have lamb chops. You can have all of those type of foods on the ketogenic diet. For your low-carb vegetables, you're going to have things such as spinach and kale, Swiss chard, bok choy, zucchini, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. All of those different foods are allowed on the ketogenic diet. Now, see on the diagram there, it says beans. On the ketogenic diet, you cannot have beans on the ketogenic diet. And also bread. You cannot have bread on the ketogenic diet. Now, this is a test. I'd like for you to tell me which foods that are on the list below that says foods high in protein that you cannot have on the ketogenic diet. So what foods, what fats can I eat on keto? I'm just going to name some of the fats that you can eat on the ketogenic diet is going to be fats that you're going to get from your meats. You're going to be using ghee and butter, coconut oil, avocado oil, MCT oil, which is your medium chain triglycerides. Though this is some of the best oil that you can use on the ketogenic diet, and you'll learn more about that later. But MCT oil is an important oil to use. Some people use it and some people don't. You'll be using nuts and seeds to get your fats from, and olive oil. There's sesame oil. There's many different fats that you can eat on the ketogenic diet that are very, very healthy. Also, you can get fat from things like fish and eggs, grass-fed beef, algae, flax, chia seeds, and different things like that. And then here's a picture that shows you some of the different fats. As you can see on the salmon, you can see the fat, the marbleization in the meat there. Also, you got, like I said, you got your pecans, which is an excellent source of fat. Bacon, great source. Your coconut oil, your MCT oil, and your meats. When you get your meats, you want to be able to see the fats like you see the fats in the beef that's over there. So these are everything, just showing you some of the different things that you can have. It's also showing you some of the different vegetables that you can have. Showing you zucchini, avocado is a great source of fat and protein. You got your broccoli, I see celery, cabbage, and your peppers, spinach, all great sources of just some of the keto vegetables and fruits and cheeses. Broccoli, celery, cabbage, avocado, cauliflower. I use that a lot on my diet. I make cauliflower rice. I use it for pizza crust. You just use this cauliflower, mac and cheese cauliflower, mashed cauliflower, which replaces your potatoes. Then you use a lot of lemons, and then there's your asparagus. So this just gives you an idea of some of the vegetables and different things that you have on the ketogenic diet also. Now I'm going to tell you about, I'm going to throw in some keto diet hacks for rapid weight loss. No, I'm not going to throw those in here. I'm going to, and that's something that we're going to do in another video. So on the keto diet, don't eat these foods on keto. You don't want to eat grains, and by grains we mean things such as rice, wheat, barley, flour, oats. You don't want to eat those type of things on the ketogenic diet. Grains, they feed those to pigs and to cows and everything to make them fat. So you don't want to eat grains. You're not a cow, you're not a pig, you are a human being. So you want to eat fresh foods, fresh whole foods, and nutritious, good meats. Okay, fruits. You don't want to have fruits. Fruits turn into sugars, and as we all know, sugar turns into glucose, which turns into insulin in the blood. Beans and legumes, these aren't allowed. Starchy vegetables such as potatoes and yams, these are not allowed on the keto diet. Pastries, pies, cakes, candies, baked goods, boxed cereals, unless they have some new keto cereals that they come out with. So these would be some nice things to maybe possibly try. Processed foods. The watermelon is high on the glycemic index. It turns into glucose or sugar, so therefore it raises your insulin. You shouldn't be eating things like pizza. This is combining protein with a carb, which is not a good thing to do on ketogenic diet or any diet. Cupcakes, pies, cookies, hamburgers with the bread. Now you can have hamburgers and just lettuce wrap them, or just eat them bare, or just put them on a bed of lettuce. Cakes, candy, French fries. Oh, that used to be my favorite. Pasta, apples, soda. These are things that you can't have on the ketogenic diet. So this is what this picture represents. It's just showing you some some of the foods that you're going to miss. That's just a teaser. Also, what do you need to start? Well, I would say for everyone when first starting out on the ketogenic diet, make sure that you get you some ketone urine test strips. For me, it made it easier when I had visual. So I say get you some ketone urine test strips and start the keto diet. I believe that you'll feel better when you can see that you're in ketosis. So visual, I believe, is best, and this way you can see your transition into ketosis and know what your body is doing when you're in ketosis, so that you maybe can become familiar with what to expect sometimes. Now, some people go through what is known as the keto flu, and the keto flu is a side effect of your body removing sugars. What you're doing is you're depleting potassium and B vitamins also. You should use electrolyte powder or nutritional yeast to combat this problem. You can also drink pickle juice, which is what I did. Drinking bone broth helps greatly. Sodium and potassium are important electrolytes and should be replenished daily. Extra bacon is also a good snack. On the keto diet, you want to drink lots of water, and to your water, add a pinch of Himalayan pink salt and some apple cider vinegar, and this will help fight inflammation. Also, you'll be replenishing your electrolytes at the same time. The Himalayan pink salt has 84 minerals and nutrients, and these nutrients aid in replenishing your electrolytes and keeping you feeling healthy and well. Some people take a magnesium supplement also to stop cramping and discomfort that they are feeling when on the keto diet. Most who do the keto diet experience what is known as the keto flu. This is not a disease, but it's a process what your body goes through while it's transferring from burning glucose, which is sugar, to burning ketones, which is fat. So I want to say again, because I can't stress enough, be sure to replenish your electrolytes daily. This is very important to feel your best while you're doing the ketogenic diet. So, are you ready to take the next step in getting healthy? Some people need to have guidance and to have accountability coaching. I offer accountability coaching, and also for those who are interested, I offer free half-hour consultations to talk about the ketogenic diet with you and discuss issues that you have or your health goals, to see if the ketogenic diet is something that is interesting to you or something that you could benefit from. This is a free service that I offer, and I advise people, everyone, to take advantage of it because it couldn't hurt. All it can do is help you. I have different coaching packages, and these range in different prices. I have like a self-help coaching package all the way up to a private group that I coach, group coaching. I also offer one-on-one personal coaching. I have keto classes and keto seminars, and I also offer wellness workshops for different organizations and different functions. I will be working on doing meal preparations and sample menu plans. So make sure that you attend some of the keto seminars that I offer in the area. They will be very informative. I will be having different speakers and different things happening. We will be serving refreshments and trying different foods, and it just will depend on what the function is about and what's going on that day. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and like I said, if you have any questions, please post those below and I will answer you for those next time. This is Keto Granny saying have a good night. It's night here while I'm doing this video, so as I said, everyone have a good night, and Keto Granny will see you next time. So it's the next morning. This is Keto Granny. I hope that you enjoyed the video. And again, like I said, I do offer special coaching classes that help people at www.ketogrannycoaching.com. Please visit my site, send me a message, and let's get started with keto. Again, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and also like, share, and comment below. Thank you. Until next time, this is Keto Granny saying keto on and have a great day.